Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sunday Book Review for January 5, 2020. I take things in a little bit different direction today as I preview 4 books which will be released in 2020, which I think the compliance practitioner would do well to read and study. First up is Reed Hastings, Building Netflix by Burgess. Reed Hastings is one of the world's foremost businessmen. As a co-founder and chairman of Netflix, he has built one of the largest media and entertainment companies on the planet, with an estimated personal net worth of $3.6 billion. This concise but detailed biography provides an overview of Hastings' career trajectory, providing insights into his success. It covers his unique management style, what he is like as a person, and the biggest mistakes he has made along the way, revealing why he decided to take Netflix from a business that dealt with products, i.e. rental DVDs, to a technology company that focused on streaming. It also looks to what the future may bring for himself and his ventures. Next up, a really interesting book called The Bridge, Natural Gas in a Redivided Europe by Thane Gustafson. This is a noted expert on Russian energy, argues that despite Europe's geopolitical rivalries, natural gas and deals based on it will unite Europe because of mutual self-interest. 3 decades after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the breakup of the Soviet Empire, there are increasing tensions in the West. This book argues that political rivalries that capture the lion's share of the media attention must be viewed alongside multiple business interests and differences in economic ideologies. Certainly for the compliance practitioner, this will be a tricky road to navigate, so I would urge you to take a look at this book to see what a sticky wicket may actually look like for you. Next up, Sabotage, The Hidden Nature of Finance by Anastasia Nesvetailova. Sorry, I know I butchered that, and Ronen, Palan. This book takes a look at the fundamental motive for financial innovation is not to make the system better, but to avoid regulation and oversight. And the authors argue this is a built-in feature of the system. The president of the U.S. is not a tax avoider because he's especially fraudulent, although he clearly is. He's a tax avoider because he is a wealthy man in a system premised in such deceit, as the authors argue. This story traces the development of financial sabotage, and certainly for the compliance practitioner, this would be a very good book to understand not only why they do it, but perhaps how they do it as well. And we conclude with Thomas Piketty. You may remember him from Capital in the 21st Century, who argued, or rather galvanized, the global debate about inequality. In this follow-up, he challenges us to revolutionize how we think about politics, ideology, and history, exposing ideas that have sustained inequality for the past millennium, and reveals why the shallow politics of both the left and right are failing us today. He argues that to begin to envision a more balanced approach to economics and politics, there should be a participatory system founded on an ideology of equality, social property, education, and the sharing of power and knowledge. While certainly many in the United States may disagree with this, I find this to be an incredibly thought-provoking book, and one that compliance practitioners could draw perhaps inspiration from or ideas from for enhancing a corporate compliance program going forward. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode of the Sunday Book Review edition of the Daily Compliance News, and I hope you'll join me again next Sunday, where I take a look at some of the books which caught my interest over the past week. The Sunday Book Review is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions, you can email me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. Thanks again for listening, and I hope you'll join me again next week.